In this set of videos, we're going to discuss the cylinder head of the Honda RUCKUS 4-stroke 50 cc's. Now, in this picture right here, we can see where the springs have been taken off the valves. We have two valves. We have an intake valve, which is right here. You can tell that this is the intake valve because if you look higher, you'll notice this pipe that comes into the cylinder head, and you can see it right down in here. And what this valve does is open and closes the cylinder to allow the intake charge, that's what we call the fuel and air, to come into the cylinder. And the cylinder is right there. I mean, the cylinder head is right there. Now on the exhaust side, the exhaust valve does the exact same thing. It opens and allows the exhaust gas. You can see where the valve stem is right here. That's what it's called, to go out this little hole right here, or the exhaust. Now what we're going to do, and you may learn something new about cylinder heads, and I know it may be long and boring, but what I'm going to do is take the time to explain it, and maybe, you know, a year from now, 100 years from now, 2,000 years from now, you can go back and look at this and say, wow, you know, the guy was slow, he took his time, but I learned something and I had a question answered for me. So what we can see right here is the intake valve and the exhaust valve stem. That's what these are called, the valve stem, or the end of the valve. They run into something called, these are your valve, the name escapes me. Anyway, they're valve guides, valve runners. I know what they are. I'll find them as soon as I get done with this video. It'll come to me. But the valves move up and down in these valve guides. That's what they are. The valve guides are pounded in from this side, and they can be pounded out from the other side. Now, I'm going to push on this intake valve stem so I can get it out, and I'll push on the exhaust valve, and then I'll turn this over. And we can take a look at both the little valves. Now when I say that they open and close, they may open, let's see if I can do this here. Let's see, they may open just a tiny bit of a, let's see, that's all the way closed right there, and I'm going to use my finger to open this. They may open like about that much or less. Actually, it would be right around there, because if you looked at the piston, which I don't have with me right now because I'm too lazy to go out to my shop and get it, and it's cold as shit out there. It is like 17 degrees. I mean, it is, it's as cold as my ex-wife. I didn't know whether to embrace her or embalm her. That was a joke. So, our valves open and close, but the valves also have to seal airtight so that when on the compression stroke, when the piston comes up to top dead center and the little spark plug end, which is right here, explodes, that both the exhaust and the intake are sealed so that the explosion will push the piston down into the cylinder and give you power instead of escape into one of these holes. So what we're going to do is make sure that that doesn't happen. So let's take the valves out. We'll take a look at them. And remember what I've always said about these little motorcycles. Okay? And this will be next video here. I'm going to pull this out, and we'll put both of these down here, and then we're going to examine them professionally.